Hi, everybody!
Okay, this is something I've seen discussed within the Atlas fandom for a long time, and I feel like it's time I weighed in on the matter. Does Persona 6 need to be a dark game? This is certainly going to be a can of worms. For people who act like Persona is some lighthearted kiddie game, you really need to reconsider your position. These games are darker than your average run-of-the-mill JRPG. Do you see Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest tackling a lot of the themes found in Persona? No, you don't. Because those games are going for a lighter tone and feel. Generally speaking, Final Fantasy has gone dark a few times though. But those times are few and far between. Persona has always made dark and mature themes a core tenet of its design philosophy, because it started out as a Shin Megami Tensei spin-off. It ultimately failed to be Baby's first SMT game and cut its own path. I'm presently working on a video talking about why Persona failing as a gateway into SMT games was probably one of the best things to ever happen in JRPG history. So if that video interests you, why not hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell? That way you won't miss that video and future uploads. I'd explicitly state some of the themes found in Persona games, but that would put this video at risk of being demonetized or outright removed from YouTube. So if you want to read about some of the themes found in the Persona games, go to Google, type in Komoshida, that'll be enough to show you just how fucking dark these games get.
Tell me when I'm telling lies!
So what do Persona fans mean when they talk about wanting Persona 6 to be a dark game? Typically, they mean your stereotypical edgelord shit. Persona 3 is probably the edgiest of the mainstream Persona games, given Memento Mori is the core theme of that game. Persona would later tone it down with P4, though that's still a decently dark game, since it's about reaching out and finding the truth, which is framed as a murder mystery, because, murder is wholesome, right?
Some people are really fucking stupid.
I guess it is in the world of Persona. I mean, I don't know.
What about Persona 5 then? The one that people say is the most childish of all of the mainline Persona games. That one's core theme is rebellion. Now rebellion comes in many forms. That's what Persona 5 was trying to tell its audience, but most people just view it at a surface level. Rebellion can be as simple as a teenager blasting music at obscene volumes, or as complex as things like the Satsuma Rebellion, which ended the samurai, or as complex as the Russian Revolution, which ended Tsarist Russia. I'd break out my Russian accent, which I'm told is pretty good, but given the state of the world right now and cancel culture, I just don't want to go there.
Oh no, it's pretty good. I can confirm this. But yeah, you might not want to go there because of everything that you literally just said. But like I said, I can attest to this. It's a good Russian accent.
With Persona 5, the whole game's narrative was about deconstructing societal norms, tearing down outdated values, and finding that rebellious nature within oneself, which is a topic that can range from fairly lighthearted to fairly dark. Persona 5 did an excellent job of showcasing both. So, clearly, Persona games aren't as light and cheery as a lot of people seem to think they are. They're already pretty dark in some aspects. Now that we've established what most people want out of Persona 6 is an edgelord's paradise, why don't we explore how Persona 6 can be dark without being an edgy teen's wet dream? So how can Atlas make Persona 6 dark without pushing it into cringe territory? Well, I covered in my wishlist video some of the themes I'd like to see the game tackle given its green color scheme. A card for that will be popping up on screen now, and I'll pin the link for that video in the comments section. But the themes I discussed there were health, wealth, and income inequality. Another aspect we could tack onto this is greed and envy, since those also go into the previous themes nicely. Atlas literally makes every choice in the Persona games for a reason. All of those topics can be dark if covered in the right way. Health could cover medical malpractice, wealth could cover how the wealthy are always fucking over the poor, then greed and envy literally could go into any of the aforementioned topics, as there is a reason greed and envy are two of the 7 deadly sins. Literally, all Atlus has to do is cover how these topics can be dark. But should Atlus really cater to what seems to be a very vocal minority? So now we come to the meat of the video. Should Persona 6 be a dark game? Honestly, yes, it should. But one has to realize all of the Persona games are dark in their own way. None of them are lighthearted affairs. They all deal with the darker aspects of humanity. Sometimes the games cover the topic in a more lighthearted manner. Sometimes they treat it with more severity. It all depends on if the game is aiming for a lighter tone or a heavier one. On the heavier side, you have the first 3 games. On the lighter side, you have 4 and 5. Guess which ones are the best selling in the franchise? Obviously, Persona 3 Reload is the fastest selling of the lot. But here's the thing. That one is also the newest, and it was advertised as being the definitive way to play the game. Certainly, a better way than playing the port of Portable we got in early 2023. So disregard that for just a second, because beyond that, it's actually the lighter-hearted games that have sold the most. They literally put the Persona games on the map. Now I know some asshole is going to yap off in the comments saying I'm erasing Persona 1 and 2, but I'm not. They just appeal to a more niche audience, as they have far more in common with their parent series, Shin Megami Tensei, than they do their younger siblings. They just established the framework for the Persona games. Persona 3 is where the franchise truly became its own thing. Then Persona 4 and its subsequent definitive edition helped the game start reaching more mass appeal. Persona 4 Golden on the Vita is actually how I started playing the Persona games. Then I got Persona 5 the year it released as a birthday present. I love that game. I loved it even more when Royal came out. But just like CM Punk started a revolution in wrestling, Persona 5 is where the franchise really got the ball rolling with gamers who primarily consume mass-marketed bullshit. And just like Persona 5 put the franchise on the map for normies, I'm going to put more niche games on the YouTube map, because And
I am the voice of the voiceless!
For undervalued games. Just look at the lesser-known titles I cover on this channel. I'm so counterculture, I'm the George fucking Carlin of the internet age.
And not just in terms of attitude either, in terms of looks too. I mean, you literally look like George Carlin's son. You look like George Carlin Jr. That's why I call you that all the time, Colin. And for those of you that have not seen Colin's face and stuff like that, look at his Instagram. Look at the 2 videos that he has on this channel where he shows his face. Yeah, it's very rare whenever you see it. But whenever you do see it, you can't unsee it. And so now, every time I get a chance to, like right now for instance, I have to call him George Carlin Jr. So continue on, George Carlin Jr.
But either way, with Persona 3 Reload being the outlier in terms of the tonality of the most popular games, no, Persona 6 doesn't need to go edgelord dark. Leave the tonality the same. I know some find the more tongue-in-cheek aspects of Persona 4 and 5 a little grating. But remember this, and remember it well. Persona is primarily made for people in their late teens to early 20s, not some neck-bearded curmudgeon working a dead-end job.
Tell me when I'm telling lies!
Damn. Okay, I gotta admit, that was a good one. I'm gonna write that one down as a win for you. That hardly ever happens, but yeah, I'm gonna write that down as a W.
At present, Persona is profitable. It finally found its audience. The old saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Persona doesn't need fixed.
Nope, not at all. The formula is working perfectly for what Atlus needs it to do. Persona is one of the biggest brands in gaming at the moment, especially in the RPG space, because Persona is one of the last bastions of turn-based combat, and it does turn-based combat in a way that people really like. So, yeah, do not need to fix the formula that has been working ever since Persona 3 and has cultivated a fan base that is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger with every single release.
Do you think Atlas should give in to the weeby edgelords, or do you think Persona is good as is? Comment below and like the video. Thanks go out to my current channel members, R. Campbell and Danny Boy. If you'd like to support the channel further and get shoutouts at the end of every video, exclusive content, and early access to videos, then hit the join button or the link in the description. Want more of my Persona content? Then check out my Persona 6 wishlist video. You're welcome. And until next time, keep blazing that trail.